This seems like a good time for a drink and a cold, calculated speech with sinister overtones. A speech about politics, about order, brotherhood, power. But speeches are for campaigning. Now is the time for action.
I really felt like Evil Morty when I recorded that, so I had to do a bit. Hi everyone, I'm Tom, and this is Raw Data, a fully fledged VR title that I wanted to play for a long time now, but never got around to doing so until this week. After all, we're now in the most game deprived time of the year when no large new titles are released, so why not take a look at a bit of an older one. Raw Data is a mix of wave-based shooter and a tower defense game, all with a futuristic look, crafted story, and of course, it's a VR title. Does it all work together? Let's find out, and let's dive in.
Oh my. Whatever this is about, I'm sure that everything will be fine.
Yes, we're doing them at the same time again, because when this game does something good, it does something bad at the same time. But to get the basic VR things out of the way first, yes, it runs smooth with no stuttering or motion sickness on my part. There are as well a multitude of options to make your experience as pleasant as possible, like the option to choose between continuous movement or teleportation, or to choose between your dominant hand and your not dominant hand so you can aim better. Also, every time you boot up the game, it calibrates your height so everything feels normal perspective wise. There are also a lot of graphics settings, so even with the GTX 970, you should have a decent experience. Now on to the actual game. I'm on the fence about it, I'm not gonna lie. The problem is not that there are things that I hate, the problem is instead that there's not really anything that I love, if that makes any sense at all. Everything just doesn't quite hit that high point that it needed to hit, which sadly left me with mixed feelings. Let me take for instance the levels. There are 10 levels in the game, with some good variety, but it starts off extremely weak with the first 2 levels just being circular arenas where there are waves of enemies spawning in, nothing we haven't seen 100 times before. However, later on you get parts where you're literally tripping on acid and you need to move around in order to keep your vision straight and to prevent yourself from starting to hallucinate, which is pretty cool and original. However, this is only one level out of the 10. Where's this drive and creativity in the rest of the game? Because in every level it is your objective to protect the data core, even the acid tripping one, and this is where the tower defense part begins. You see, every murderous robot is either making a beeline for you or that data core, so in order to protect it you can build turrets and shields in order to keep them away. However, you are allowed to build only 4 at a time, which is really underwhelming, and there are only 3 turrets to choose from. Every turret is pretty useful and effective within its own area of expertise, but why are there only 3 to choose from? This is what I mean with it all works well, just when you take a hard look at it, it's not as good as it could be. Same goes for the weapons. You have a pistol with manual reloads, which I love by the way, because that's what VR is all about, doing things yourself. You also have a shotgun that you have to manually pump, that gives you that badass feeling. You also have a bow and arrow, which makes you really feel like Arrow from the series. And lastly you have a laser sword, which instantly turned me into Kylo Ren. Now here's the thing. Those are the only 4 weapons in the entire game, tied to the only 4 characters that go with them. Call them heroes if you will. They are well made and fun to use, no doubt about that. But for comparison, look at Overwatch, a game which has so much more content and things to offer, with heroes and maps galore, but only costs $3 more. You see what I'm getting at? I don't want to sound like a parrot and just start repeating myself, but I'm really getting the feeling that I am. For the price you pay versus the product you get for it, it's just not on the same level as most other games, which really makes it a hard sell. Where you also notice this is in the story. There are 10 missions which I was able to beat in 4 hours, which is about on par with a Call of Duty or Battlefield campaign. However, here there is a story which had no cutscenes and other physical characters, just people spouting exposition on a monitor with sound waves for graphics. Which again makes it really hard for you to care. And it's not that you don't want to try, because unlike Call of Duty campaigns, this actually had an interesting plot. People started disappearing and it's up to you to uncover data which will reveal the truth, but in doing so you will find out that everyone volunteered and... Oh yeah, no spoiling, Tom. Okay. On the plus side though, raw data does have a shit ton of collectibles and audio files to find, and it even has its own anime in-game. So it gets plus points for that. Let me try and sum it up in an easy way to make you understand it clearly. Everything that is here, the combat, the robots, the turrets, the environments, everything. It works well, but you notice nearly everywhere that if they just had a little bit bigger budget and just put in a little bit more effort to make everything a bit more wholesome, like actual characters to talk to, more heroes to play as, and non-circular wave-based arenas, this game would be an 8 out of 10, maybe even 9 out of 10, easy. But now, the 10 levels, which you can play through with a friend by the way, are just not worth the $37. I am however going to recommend you buy this game when it's on sale, because although it is not worth the $37 price tag, it is worth the $20 one. So with that said, as it is now, sadly, raw data is not worth the money.